Hi, everybody, and welcome to another Mindful 10 with me, Sandra. Today, I would like to talk to you about conflicts. So, let's say you had a conflict, it escalated, and maybe you want to sit down after the escalation in silence and ask yourself some questions, because sometimes, when you have a conflict and when you argue with someone and afterwards you feel really bad because you kind of feel that I shouldn't have reacted that way maybe, or I could have reacted better or a different way. So if you go into the awareness and the fact that you would like to solve or handle these conflicts different, it's a very, very good way to just sit down and just go over the conflict and ask yourself some questions. So first you just sit and breathe and come to your senses. You listen and you feel. Maybe you also use smell and taste, but just closing your eyes and listening to the sounds, feeling your body, feeling your breath. Just go to that place of quiet. And when you are there in your place of quiet, start asking yourself, what was the trigger of that conflict? And maybe go beyond the obvious trigger. What was underneath? Was the situation really the trigger, or just the last straw that broke the camel's back? Be honest with yourself. What actually triggered that conflict? What conditions did feed it? Did I feed it? What did I do to feed the situation? What did I do to, In what mood have I been before the situation? Did that contribute to the conflict? And here's one question that I really like. What did I expect? What did I expect from me, from others? So maybe the whole conflict just happened because of expectations that we've had. And then, of course, a quite deep and important question for a lot of us. Were there old patterns and behaviors that were activated, that were triggered? So we're coming back to my first question. What triggered the conflict? Was it really the word, the sentence, the behavior right before the conflict? Or is there something else underneath that maybe you want to get rid of anyway and work on it? So every conflict has an obvious trigger, and most of them has a trigger that's underneath, that's older. It could be related to this conflict right now, to the escalation, but it could also be that it's actually something completely different. It had nothing to do with that situation. And that is what you have to ask yourself. When you go into a situation and you realize what he or she said or did triggered something, and then you can see the difference, you can feel the difference, that you're not actually angry with that person. You're angry with another person or with yourself or whatever. And then you can handle the actual situation better. And maybe there is no escalation necessary at all. Maybe there's just a sentence of awareness necessary. Something like, that really hurt me. Or, I'm not sure I know what to think about that, what you just said or did. And another last question for you. If you look at that conflict and how it escalated and how you acted, ask yourself, the way you reacted, the way you were at the time, how old were you? How old were you when you reacted that way? I find this an extremely interesting question because sometimes we react like little children when we're arguing. And maybe we are in this very moment. Maybe we feel like we're drawn back to another situation back then. So again, the main question remains, what really triggered that particular conflict? So sit with that question in silence, and you may be astounded what you will find out about yourself, about the way you act and react. Enjoy. And let me know. Email me what you found and be surprised. Enjoy your day. Have a lovely time and see you again soon.